powerful and strong.
Sharing kindness,
It's an easy feat, and magic makes it all complete. You have mine. Do you know you are my very best friends?
One day, Edward was talking to Trevor when Douglas steamed by. He was pulling a train of heavy coal cars. Come on, Edward. Stop gossiping in the sun when there's work to be done. Later, Edward spoke to Douglas. Trevor and I are old friends, and you and he have a lot in common, too. We do? Quizzed Douglas. And what would that be? Scrap, said Edward quietly. Douglas gasped. Don't mention that word. It makes me wheels wobble. It does the same to Trevor, replied Edward. He was being sent to the scrapyard, but the vicar and I saved him, and now he's really useful again. Even so, Sir Topham Hatt certainly does need another steam engine here. Aye, he does, and quickly. That night, Douglas was still working. He had taken the midnight goods train to a station at a faraway part of the island where only the diesels work. He was just shunting, ready for his return journey, when... That sounds like a steam engine, he thought. The hiss came again. Who's there? Asked Douglas. A whisper came. Are you Sir Topham Hatt's engine? I am proud of it. Well, I'm Oliver, and I'm with my brake van towed. We've run out of coal and have no more steam. But what are you doing? Escaping. From what? Scrap. Douglas shivered. Then he remembered Edward's story about saving Trevor. I'll be glad to help you. It'll have to look, though, as if you're ready for scrap and I'm taking you away. Their drivers and firemen agreed to help, too. Everyone worked fast. No time to turn round. I'll run tender first. Come on. But before they could clear the station, they were stopped. Aha, called a foreman. A Great Western engine and a brake van, too. You can't take these. Aye, but they're all for us, said Douglas's driver. See for yourself. The foreman looked all over Oliver. Seems in order. Right away, guard. That was a near thing. We've had worse, replied Oliver, and they forged ahead. It was daylight when their journey ended. We're home, cried Douglas. Shh, said his driver. There are the works. We'll find a place for Oliver. Oliver said goodbye and thank you, and Douglas puffed away. The next day, Douglas told the other engines all about Oliver. Sir Topham Hatt will have to know, said James. Douglas should tell him at once, added Gordon. Well, here he is, said a voice. Now, what's this all about? Beg pardon, sir, but we do need another engine. Yes, sir, ventured Gordon. A steam engine, sir. Well, unless one is saved from scrap, there's little hope. But, sir, one has. Yes, indeed. And thanks to you, Douglas, he is now at our works. Oliver is just what we need for Duck's branch line. Everyone cheered. Now, Oliver and Toad are mended and painted in full Great Western colors. Duck and Oliver are happy on their branch line. The others laughed at first and called it the Little Western. Duck and Oliver were delighted, and so the Little Western it will always be.
Every day down in the quarry, work, work, work so hard. Haul that load, careful, don't hurry. Everyone plays a part, but deep inside the old tunnels, someone hides away. Too scared to come out and see us, and too scared to say his name.
On a clear day when the sky is blue and there's just enough breeze to blow the clouds away, you can stand on the big hill above the valley and watch Duck and Oliver far below, busily at work on Duck's branch line near the sea. The two engines are very proud of their matching coats of gleaming color. Oliver often talks about the time that Douglas saved him from scrap.
If it wasn't for his help,
Oliver will say,
I might have been caught when I ran away from the scrapyard, and I would never have come to live here on Sir Topham Hatt's railway.
the other engines all wanted to know about Oliver's adventures.
Amazing, remarked Henry. Oliver, said James, has resource.
And sagacity, put in Gordon. What does that mean, whispered Percy. I think, replied Thomas, it's about being clever and wise.
He is, finished Gordon, an example to us all.
I'm sorry to say that Oliver became very puffed up in the smoke box.
Henry says I'm amazing. He's right.
He whistled as he swooshed along the line. One day, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him.
You are doing well. Now you must learn how to look after freight cars.
Every wise engine knows that you cannot trust freight cars. The other engines warned Oliver, but he took no notice.
You think I can't manage, he said huffily. Gordon knows better. He says I'm sagacious.
You may be good gracious or whatever you call it, but cars can be troublesome, and...
Say no more, Duck,
interrupted Donald.
It's a pity, but the wee engine'll just have to learn for himself.
Oliver pulled some loaded cars to a siding and pushed the empties to the chute. Then he came back to take the loaded cars away. But they were comfortable and didn't want to move.
What right has he to poke his funnel in here? We want Duck.
Or Donald.
Or Douglas. Look sharp,
Huffed Oliver.
That's not the way to speak, hissed the cars. We'll get even.
Oliver heard nothing. The cars moved smoothly at first, then suddenly Oliver felt them push forward. His driver applied the brakes, but they were useless against the surging cars. On, yelled the cars. Oliver fought hard, but still they forced him on and on. At last, the cars grew tired.
I'm winning,
Gasped Oliver. But it was too late. Oliver lay bruised and bemused, bunker down in the turntable well. Duck surveyed the damage.
Hello, Oliver. Are you being a good gracious engine? Beg pardon, but we really don't like this sort of surprise. Donald and Douglas will miss their turntable until it is mended.
That evening, Oliver was hauled gently to safety.
I'm sorry, sir,
He said to Sir Topham Hatt.
I should have listened to Duck's advice. I don't feel good gracious or whatever it is. I just feel silly. Well, Oliver,
Replied Sir Topham Hatt.
now you know the damage cars can do. Yes, I do, sir. I look like a load of scrap iron. Oh, I don't think so,
Laughed Sir Topham Hatt.
but you do need to go to the works to be mended.
The other engines now felt sorry for Oliver.
The branch line won't be the same without you, whistled Duck. Come back soon.
A few days later, Oliver did come back. His coat gleamed brighter than ever. He was a wiser engine, too, and never made a mistake about cars again.
Come on, sing along. Blue Mountain Mystery, Blue Mountain Mystery, the secret in the hills. Come on, sing along. Blue Mountain Mystery, Blue Mountain Mystery, the secret in the hills. Yeah! Whoa! Yeah!
Oliver had been to the works to be mended. Some troublesome cars tricked him, and the Great Western engine fell into the turntable well. Now Oliver was as good as new, but he was still worried about cars. I'd rather not use them, he puffed to himself. But the cars sang songs rude and loud. Scruffy, their leader, led the chorus.
Oliver's no use at all, thinks he's very clever, says that he can manage us, that's the best joke ever. When he orders us about with the greatest folly, we just push him down the well. Pop goes old Ollie.
Thomas, Duck, and Percy were shocked. Be quiet, they ordered. But they couldn't be everywhere, and everywhere they weren't, the cars began again.
Oliver's no use at all, thinks he's very clever, says that he can manage us, that's the best joke ever.
At last, the engines gave up. We're sorry, Oliver, they said. It's really my fault, said Oliver sadly. I shouldn't have fallen in the turntable well. Toad, the brake van, felt sorry for Oliver, too. Next morning, he spoke to Douglas.
I'm worried, Mr. Douglas. This disrespect for engines, where's it going to end?
Who knows, sighed Douglas.
I've got a plan, Mr. Douglas. May I stay here today and help Mr. Oliver? We are both Great Western and must stand together.
Certainly, Toad, replied Douglas and puffed away. Soon Toad was explaining his plan.
Oh, my.
Goodness gracious, Toad, I don't think you should suggest such a thing to Oliver. But Oliver interrupted. No, Duck, Toad's right. It's really my fault. I must put this trouble right.
I meant no disrespect, you understand.
Of course not, Toad. Anyway, Driver says the same, and he's arranged it with the station master. Very well, Oliver, conceded Duck, but I must hurry. My passengers will be waiting. Good luck. So long, smiled Oliver bravely, but he felt dreadfully nervous inside. Oliver marshaled the worst cars 2 by 2.
That's the way, Mr. Oliver,
whispered Toad.
And if you leave that Scruffy till last, then you'll have him behind you, and you can bump him if he starts his nonsense.
Hold back,
whispered Scruffy.
and pass the word to the others.
The silly cars giggled. But Oliver knew what to do. There was plenty of sand on the rails, and his wheels gripped splendidly. He gave a great heave.
Oh,
Groaned Scruffy.
I don't like this.
Go on, yelled Duck. Well done, boy, well done.
Oh,
Wailed Scruffy.
I'm coming apart.
And he did. Then there was trouble.
Well, Oliver, so you don't know your own strength, is that it?
No, sir, said Oliver nervously. So Topham Hatt inspected Scruffy.
As I thought. Rotten wood, rusty frames. Maybe if we put you back together, you'll earn yourself a better name.
Nowadays, Oliver only takes the cars when the other engines are busy. But they're always quick to warn each other.
Take care with Mr. Oliver. If you play tricks on him, you'll never be the same car again.
Scruffy has learned his lesson and says nothing at all.